Welcome to this episode of Trojan Poetry. I've chosen the poem. Mike has not chosen it. I've only read it once, but I was so intrigued by it that I thought, you know what, let's go into this kind of cold. We'll see. All right, this is called Wasps Nest by Michael Schmidt. Here we go. It was the fruit I wanted, not the nest. The nest was hanging like the richest fruit against the sun. I took the nest, and with it came the heart, and in my hand the kingdom and the queen, frail surfaces rested for a moment. Then the drones awoke and did their painful business. I let the city drop upon the stones. It split to its deep palaces and combs. It bled the insect gold, the pupa queens like tiny eyes wriggled from their sockets, and somewhere the monarch cowered in a veil of wings in passages through which at evening the laborers had homed. Burdened with silence and the garden scents, the secret heart was broken suddenly. I, to whom the knowledge had been given, who was not after knowledge but a fruit, remember how a knot of pain swelled my hand to a round nest. Blood throbbed in the hurt veins as if an unseen swarm mined there. The nest oozed bitter honey. I swaddled my fat hand in cotton. After a week, pain gave it back to me, scarred and weakened like a shriveled skin. A second fruit is growing on the tree, identical, the droning in the leaves. It ripens. I have another hand.
Well, before we started reading, you said that you'd only read it once.
Yeah.
And I said, we're flying blind, and then I looked at the title.
Yeah,
Wasp Nest. Well, first of all, this guy's really going for it.
Yeah.
The speaker, I have another hand.
Yeah.
And
that's a disturbing ending.
Yes, well, the whole it ripens. I mean, it's just like, right? It ripens like he's looking out the window every day and he sees it building and building and building.
Mm-hmm.
Now, going back to the first line, though, it was the fruit I wanted, not the nest.
The nest was hanging like the richest
like
fruit.
the richest fruit against the sun. So what is the fruit? Is the fruit the honey itself, or the experience of? I mean, I'm assuming it bled the insect gold, which is really cool.
But wasps don't make honey, do they?
No. Yeah. Right.
Right.
It bled the insect gold. So is that a reference to their coloring?
Maybe like they're flying out and it's bleeding them. Flying out. I don't know.
Yeah, like a visual. And I love the pupa queens, like tiny eyes wriggled from their sockets. I can just picture them coming out of those little hexagonal tunnels and everything. I didn't realize until the second half of the poem that he just grabbed it with his bare hands or hand. Remember how a knot of pain swelled my hand to a round nest, and so then his hand resembles the nest, which is ironic. The nest oozed bitter honey, so he says right there, but blood throbbed in the hurt veins, the nest oozed bitter honey. Does that mean his hand, or?
It seems like there's a whole lot of conflation between the nest and his hand, and him.
I think you're getting an inflated ego about your reading, your ability to read this
If you're
poem.
this good.
It is hard to be this good, I mean, I'm telling you. So, what did you see? I kind of went on there, but...
Well, I was confused because there's a lot of, like I said, conflation between the two, but then in the end, the last line, which isn't even the last line, it's the last sentence in the last line, I have another hand, like he clearly has not learned his lesson, and there's something in him that wants to go back and try to get the fruit, which isn't the nest but might be the nest, and he knows how painful it is. So it's just kind of a meditation on not always doing what we should do, or not being wise enough to not learn from our mistakes.
Right, being an adrenaline junkie, going for the rush. He does mention down here, burdened with silence and the garden scents, and he says, I, to whom the knowledge had been given, not after knowledge, but a fruit, which seems to me like an Adam and Eve Garden of Eden reference there, right?
And
you bite of the fruit, and he's going for that rush by just grabbing it, right?
And it does say I remember how a knot of pain swelled my head. It's like not like he's forgotten the pain.
Yeah, and it's scarred and weakened like a shriveled skin. You want your other hand to look like that? Yeah. That's wild.
So this one I just thought was a good gut punch of a poem. Which, I think it's that's one of the reasons I like poetry is A, I can read it quickly, and B, sometimes it just totally sneaks up on you, and hits you, and that's a good experience. It's just one of the experiences of poetry.
Right. I'm living this moment. Good poetry recreates a moment, and you get to experience it. And as you read through this poem, I'm right there with this speaker as he does this crazy act, and then wants to do it again.
And despite all good sense, he's going back.
Yeah, that's right.
All right. Well, thanks for watching. Join us again here on Trojan Poetry. Check out our blogspot at trojanpoetrydgn.blogspot.com and follow us on Twitter at trojanpoetrydgn.